line to start another lap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gap is down to 11 seconds, and at probably 10-15 minutes ago it was 20. So he's coming pretty fast towards the leader.
Absolutely. Then, so Mike Epps is doing a very good job. We're watching the leaders at the moment, WTF1 in their blue Porsche, then going up the hill. The shadows are definitely getting longer as they come into the evening time here, not only at Milton Keynes but in Interlagos as well. A flick of the brakes as they go through the right-hander, and very, very interesting to see how that car is nicely balanced. Obviously the Porsche, you can't really say much about it because you're Aston Martin driver, but obviously the new Vantage coming out as well. You released that a few days ago with Beach Dean as well. You're going to be racing in the GT3
Le Mans Cup.
Cup,
yeah,
that's it, yeah.
I've got a really good programme there with Beach Dean. It's good to be back with a full race programme. Last year I had a bit of a different role within the business and did several different things and didn't have a full race programme, whereas this year I have. There'll be several other races to be announced on top of that at a later date, but really excited to get going in that. And the GT3 Vantage has proven to be a pretty capable car, especially in testing. It's already on the pace. We had a really good race at the end of last year in Abu Dhabi, and it's obviously based off the GTE, which has had already a full year in WEC, so exciting times. And also it's going to be cool to see it in the it's going to be cool. Sorry, I can't get my words out now. It's going to be cool to see it on sim racing as well at a later date. I can't wait to see the addition of that.
Yeah, it has actually been added to R Factor 2. I don't think it's been completely released yet, but there is a Vantage coming definitely to R Factor 2, so we may be able to snap that up at Simply Race within the next few months. We got Jay Raybay on YouTube asking, can you ask Ross about how he got into racing? I had to shovel snow, sorry if he already did.
Of course.
But not sure about that. But obviously you went through the karting days like you did. I think it was Minimax Rotax, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the rest of it, and then F4.
I was kind of helped in that I was born into a racing family, so my parents actually race themselves, and that's how they met. So I was at a race circuit from a very young age, and from then I just grew a complete obsession towards the sport, and every day was, watching Formula One races as a toddler, and I managed to get into karting at a very low level and gradually built up, got some sponsors. I don't come from a very well-off family, so I had to knock on a few doors during my teenage days, and then just worked my way up through the karting ranks, and then moved into cars at the right time. It's very, very difficult sport to get into. It's probably the hardest sport to do and to reach a high level because of the financial implications and the lack of opportunities. But just give it everything. If you really, really want something, you'll go and achieve it. And I think that's what a lot of the people that have made it have done. Obviously, there's a lot of rich families out there that have supported their people, their sons and daughters or whatever, which is absolutely okay. But as Mike gets pretty close to the...
That's good of the Ferrari to jump out of the way there. That could have ended your...
To be fair, some of the traffic's been pretty good. Usually it's quite bad, but some of the drivers have been pretty good. But yeah, back to the original chat. I think you've just got to give it your absolute all, really.
So Samster's asking for a shout out from Ross, so just say hello to them.
Hi Samster. Hope you're enjoying the race.
Yeah, so then the gap is now down to 9 seconds. We've got 20 minutes to go. Ross, your team really could win this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm not sure who's in the WTF1 car at the moment, but he's roughly a second a lap slower. Mike's obviously a pro in the sim world as well as the real life.
He came down here yesterday for a sneaky practice. He didn't want me to tell anybody that, but he did come down here for
We'll announce that now to everyone.
He's in the car now, so it'll be all right.
He's a really good guy, and also he's been obviously sponsored by Simply Race for a little while, and he's done a lot around here, so he's generally the benchmark for most drivers. But as you can see, the gap is now down to 8.5 seconds as they cross the start-finish line. Clips the apex very nicely through 1 and 2.
As you'd expect.
As you'd expect, and he's got a little bit of traffic in front of him, but if he can get a toe down to turn 4, I think he might be able to get him.
So the blue flag racing Ferrari then being shown the blue flags, and potentially Mike maybe getting held up here. Let's see if he can make his way cleanly past the Ferrari. We've got the race leaders actually getting held up by a BMW in front, and that's allowed Prestige to try and get their time back. We've got the Ferrari actually pulling over to one side, so blue flag racing receiving the blue flags, getting their job done and moving out of the way. So we've got a right old battle on for the race lead now. 7.5 seconds is the gap, and it's getting very, very hot here in the Simply Race facilities. Everybody's on tenterhooks. Lap 142, WTF1 leading by 7.5 seconds over the Prestige Racing team. Obviously, you guys have got a few pro drivers. Ross yourself, Mike Epps, Alex Sedgwick from Euro NASCAR as well, entering that team. Absolutely fantastic. We've also got a few more requests for Ross giving shout-outs.
Is it Koo?
Koo.
Hello.
So
sorry if I've pronounced your name wrong, but hello, hope you're enjoying the race as well.
So that's great to hear from Ross. So obviously I've been watching your Instagram feed quite a lot as well, and you do a hell of a lot of fitness training. We saw you on the Batang earlier absolutely smashing it, doing 109 hits in 60 seconds, which is just an insane amount. But how obviously you keep fit, you've got an extensive training program, probably a personal trainer as well, but you guys, you're so immersed in the whole racing driver experience, and it really helps you just become a better, healthy body, healthy mind kind of person as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's part of the job. You need to be prepared 100%, because everyone that's working for you, the mechanics, engineers, they're giving 100%. So if you are having a few days off and eating terribly or drinking out every night, it's going to have a big effect, and I take it really seriously, as do all the other drivers, and it's there are some that do more than others. I feel that I do a fair bit, and it's definitely helped me a lot. In the last year or so, I've really been able to knuckle down, whereas before, when I was working with Beechstein, I actually had a 9-to-5 job with them, so it didn't allow me to train at peak hours, and now I'm able to do that. It's really, really good. But the thing that a lot of people don't really understand is that a lot of people see it as just driving a car. So you're able to drive a car. Most people that have got here today have driven a car, and they haven't really given much. Whereas racing a car is completely different. It's very, very hot. There's a lot of forces acting on the body. But the main thing for me, or what I've always found, is the toll it has on you mentally. It's really, really difficult to focus for that period of time, and the fitter you are, the better you'll be mentally as well.
Absolutely, and I think one of the things that people don't really think about, they think about your physical fitness, but they don't think about concentration skills or anything like that, or just your line of sight focus as well. I remember driving a Porsche GT3 Supercup at Silverstone in October, and just coming into a corner at 150, you're thinking, oh, okay, I've got a brake now. But by the time you think, oh, I've got a brake now, you should be on the brakes, you know. And going into, Vale and Stowe at 150 is quite something, you've got to be really alert for.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's something that kind of caught me off guard, not being used to the speed of a GT3 car. But still something that, it's impressive just what a car can do, as well, being how grippy they are, wide tyres, aerodynamics, all the rest of it. So I think that's something that you really can hone your skills in on esports racing as well, on the simulator. As Mike Epps getting a tiny bit held up there by the BMW, but not
Gap's
too
down
bad.
6 seconds though. 6 seconds.
15 minutes to go, and we're on lap 144. Prestige are 5.6 seconds away, and they're going to get quite a strong tow. Well, potentially not, as the BMW gets very close to the Porsche but lets them go. And they're still on a charge, so 6.6 seconds as they get back onto the straight. So 15 minutes, 6.6 seconds. It's doable.
It's doable. I think the gap is coming down less than it was originally. I'm not sure what the fuel situation is with both cars. I think actually WTF1 put a full tank of fuel in with about 40 minutes to go, so they're actually probably a little bit heavy and can burn as much fuel as possible. But obviously Mike is in a bit of a fuel save mode. He's still got a little bit more pace than a WTF1 car in front, but the gap is continuously coming down. It's now down to 5 seconds. It was 6 seconds about a minute ago, so
absolutely.
it is getting very exciting.
We can see the two leaders now in the same shot, so 5.7 seconds WTF1 to Prestige, and it's hotting up. We've got some traffic up ahead for the WTF1 car as well, which may hinder them. as they come into the final 15 minutes of this 4-hour endurance race. It's been a fantastic race throughout. There's a big wiggle there from the Porsche as they tried to get the power down, but the rear engine car just snapping away ever so slightly. And on board now with Mike Epps as he meets the apex nicely, accelerates down the hill, trying to keep it as flat as possible. Ross is starting to sweat a tiny bit as he comes down. 4.3 seconds is now the gap, but on the straight it fluctuates out to the correct pace once again, so 14 seconds to go. He is taking that gap down. He's pretty much taken almost a second out of them on this lap alone, so WTF1, I think Matty Gallagher's going to be sweating like absolute mad right now.
Yeah. He already was about 40 minutes ago, so I can't imagine what he's like right now.
Absolutely. So keep the comments coming in then. We'll see if Prestige can bring the battle to WTF1. The gap is now around the 4-second mark. It's very, very, very close. Then we're watching Mike Epps on your screen. The sun's going down around the Interlagos circuit, and the drivers will be getting slightly tired as well. I think this is Mike's second stint in the car, so one of the quicker drivers in that team. Down the very well branded back straight, braking into turn number 4, and then hasn't missed an apex pretty much all stint. He's been absolutely wired to the racing line, and the gap visibly is coming down now, so it's going to be a very, very exciting last lap battle. Make sure you stick with us there for the remaining 15 minutes of this race. We've got Ben Daly still in the WTF1 car, so Ben, obviously a massive YouTube following as well as being a very, very quick esports driver. Then going around sector 2, I'm joined by Ross Gunn in the commentary booth, and we're going through the last 12 minutes of this race. We've got Will Dendy as well, who's part of Ross's team, just joining us in the comms as well, and overlooking proceedings. And it's going very, very well for the moment. You can see the gap visibly coming down, and Ben Daly, you must be so frustrated. He just can't seem to extract any more speed from the car. You must be pushing so hard. Yeah,
I mean, as a driver in the lead, you'll be looking at the delta probably every straight you possibly can to see. It's just a natural thing as a driver to look down to see what the gap is, and he'll be feeling the pressure right now. He's losing roughly a second a lap, but it's getting very exciting for the viewers and everybody here at Simply Race. As you can see, Mike is becoming ever more prominent in his rearview mirrors right now.
Absolutely. So we're on board then with Mike Epps. This is what you see as a driver. Then you've got you've got 3 screens in front of you, 2 either side and 1 directly in front. I'm sure he's got that. His eyes absolutely wide open as he follows that blue Porsche. Then you can see his delta's actually green, so his time's actually quicker than any other lap so far. He's absolutely pounding it as he goes into the right-hander of turn 7, then up the hill, snap of oversteer, but manages to correct it nice and smooth, and onto the curb. The gap is now under 2 seconds. Mike Epps then putting in a stellar job, and looks like he's going to be the star of this race if he can get it his way past Ben Daly in that blue Porsche just up ahead of him. It's very, very close, and I think he should be okay on fuel as well, so these guys have been fuel saving, but it looks like the team that came in as, well, weren't really the underdogs, but you guys weren't really expected to be all the way up. I expected Veloce to be higher up the order and potentially challenging the win, but WTF1 at their own event looked to be losing it in the final few minutes here. 1.5 seconds to the good. There's no DRS or anything like that applied in GT racing. It's purely just mechanical and aerodynamic grip getting these guys to the end.
Oh, he's going to match my lap time. Oh, he's beaten it by 4 thousandths.
Oh, so Mike Epps then a new personal best lap time for that team in that last lap. Then he's absolutely hammering that car. He'll be light on fuel as well, remember, so putting in some stellar lap times then. So just to remind you guys of the drivers in that team, we've got Ross Gunn, who's joining me at the moment, GT driver. We've got Mike Epps, who's currently in the car. We're watching him live. We've also got Will Dendy, who has done racing in the past as well, and now works for the government actually. Josh Valentine, who's another driver in that car, Simply Race regular. Alex Cedric, who has done Euro NASCAR, Ginetta Junior Scholarship winner, Clio Cup, as well as French Formula 4 as well, and 24-hour series to add to the list. And then we've got James Arger, who's actually a friend of Matty Gallagher as well, so hasn't actually done any sim racing before, so he's had the best day ever of getting you guys to pretty much tutor him. The gap is now under a second. It's extremely close for the lead of this race. Then let's see what Mike Epps can do. They've got a back marker up ahead of them in the BMW. I think that's the Fault Shark GP car, so those guys need to get out of the way. It's extremely close for the leader race. Ben Daly in the WTF1 car flashing violently his lights to get out the way. Mike Epps right onto the straight as they come down the straight now.
Come on, Mike.
Let's see what he can do. Who's going to do it? Mike tries to move to the inside. Ben Daly has the move covered, but he's trying to sneak up the inside using the side draft to try and get it into turn one. What's going to happen? We're going to watch it live now. Breaking into turn one. Is there going to be contact? This side by side going into turn one. It's very, very close. Mike Epps just getting the job done there, but WTF1 actually taking the shortcut. It was extremely close for the lead of the race there.
Mike had the move done. They both went off circuit, and the WTF1 car just went a little bit cutting turn two. Maybe he'll have to get
Mike's extremely
give
close
that position back, I think. Maybe.
WTF1 cars, they come out the last couple of corners in sector one, and Mike's being pushed right off the track there. It's very, very close for the leader of the race. Is Mike going to try it into turn? Oh, very, very close. It's incredible racing. Mike Epps and Ben Daly then, stars of the race so far. Ben Daly's gone deep into turn 8. Let's see if Ross Gunn's absolutely sweating beside me as his teammate looks to try and make the lead for the race. We've got a fantastic battle here at the Interlagos circuit then.
Come on, Mike.
Come on then, as he comes down the hill, he's going to try again, especially into turn one. I mean, it's got to be the move. You've got such a long straight where you can tow up to the back of the Porsche, but two Porsches. And Ben Daly's gone very, very wide, so Mike Epps is going to try and get up the inside. Wow. Doesn't manage to do so, has to back out of it. It's extremely close. Mike's doing a great job to not actually make any contact. Extremely close. And these guys are so quick. They're right on the limit here. It's
going to be very close into turn one. Mike is picking up a great tow across the start-finish line. He's going to the inside again. WTF1 have covered it. The outside.
Yeah, Mike goes to the outside then. Is he going to brake later? He does ever so slightly. He's going to try and hold it round the outside. He just gives him a tiny bit of a tap but holds on to it. Mike Epps, this is incredible. There's a round of applause hanging out around the studio. We've got esports racers versus real life racers in Mike Epps, who we're watching at the moment then. Is he going to try a lunge into turn 4? No, these guys almost exactly the same on the braking. Mike gets all squirrely over the curb and loses a tiny bit of time. We've got 7 minutes left on the clock. The gap is half a second. Now it's just between these two guys for the lead of the race. Absolutely fantastic racing here from these two guys. Just absolutely 110%, absolutely on the limit. The comments are going absolutely mad as well. We've gone way over 1,000 views now on the Facebook, or on the YouTube feed, sorry, as we get into the final few minutes of this race. The sun's going down. These two Porsches are absolutely battling it out after 4 hours of racing, after hundreds of miles. These guys are bringing it home for their teams, and who is going to end up on the podium on the top spot? We'll have to find out. Mike Epps, a massive oversteer moment coming through the left-hander downhill. It's good to correct that, but you can see how much that affected him.
He's not quite close enough coming off the last corner. It's going to be pretty tricky for him to close that gap into turn 1, so he might have to be patient and go for another lap. But yeah, very, very close. It's great to see them fighting so closely and hearing everybody go wild in the Simply Race building is quite cool, to be honest.
Absolutely. So Ben Daly then.
Oh, he's gone too wide.
Way too deep as he goes into turn 1. He's managed to correct it, but Mike Epps get a better run, and Mike, being the pro driver that he is, trying to hold onto the back of esports driver Ben Daly as they come down towards turn 4. Now he's going to be in the tow. He'll have the best tow of all, and he's just the right gap towards him as he goes to the inside. Ben Daly covers, just squeezing him ever so slightly. Ben Daly's going to brake and still makes the apex. Mike Epps extremely close to the back of him, but well, that was a tiny bit naughty from Ben there, but the gap was still closing, but you always have to leave it a space. And
yeah, I think that was just about okay. I think he covered it just before Mike got there, so he's under a lot of pressure. I think Mike just needs to bide his time, and it should come to him. I think he's got to do it actually in somewhere that he might not be expecting an overtake, somewhere that was going to surprise him and maybe make him force him into a bit of a mistake. So
absolutely,
Mike is smart enough to know what to do.
Ben is driving absolutely superbly to try and keep Mike Epps behind. We can see Mike working the wheel there. It's great to have that on board with Mike for the last few laps and see how Ben Daly is holding up.
Good exit for Mike there.
Holding up, but he's making sure that Mike Epps doesn't get past him. He's now right in the tow. This is a prime opportunity for Mike to get in the slipstream and try and overtake the blue Porsche. He's going to pull out quite early to the left-hand side, but Ben Daly has it covered. Mike goes all the way to the outside. We're going to have the same run again into turn one. There's 26 thousandths between them. Ben Daly brakes quite late. Is he going to make the apex? Yes, he does. Mike Epps very, very close indeed. Trying it around the outside now of turn two, not managing it. Slightest bit of contact, but incredible racing from those guys. It's just absolutely insane. Ross Gunn's losing his hair as he is sitting beside me in the commentary booth. But 4 minutes on the clock. Oh, it's too close to call, way too close to call.
I tell you what, Ben is defending very, very well. He's using his brain and placing his car in all the right places, and making life very difficult and frustrating for Mike. You know, you can actually be as frustrated being behind than you know, being ahead and having all the pressure. It can be very difficult as a driver when you can't find a single way past your competitors. So Ben's doing a great job of frustrating Mike. But yeah, Mike has clearly got the pace, and is unable to prize him into a mistake at the moment. Absolutely.
So we're back on board with Mike Epps there, and those guys very, very close to the back of the WTF1 squad then. Mike Epps very, very close indeed. He's going for a late lunge up the inside into the penultimate corner. He gets the move done. Is he going to push WTF1? Yeah, that was a fair move. He was a late move, but he did very well there. Mike Epps takes the place away from Ben Daly then. In the final stages, 3 minutes to go, about 3 laps time until we see the checker flag. But that was incredible move by Mike Epps to take the lead of the race. Ross Gunn's very happy now. He's got a smile on his face. But is Ben Daly going to potentially try and come back? He dives to the inside to turn one. He's not going to make it though, and it's very, very close for the lead of the race, but still doesn't manage to do so. And I think Epps is going to try and just break away as much as possible now. They have got traffic up ahead though, just to make this even more interesting. But Mike Epps there getting the move done up the inside into the penultimate corner. We didn't really see that one coming either. It was from quite a long way back. The Ferrari moves over to one side to let them go by. But just incredible move there from Mike Epps on Ben Daly. So fantastic racing. A professional racing driver in Mike Epps and professional esports driver in Ben Daly. We're on board with Ben right now, just following Mike Epps, and Ben's obviously not going to be happy about losing this race in the final 2-3 minutes of the race, but just not a lot he could do there. Those two drivers absolutely on the limit.
Yeah, great racing, really, really cool, and it was in the end pretty clean. Mike went for a move at the last corner, which is a pace that would have surprised Ben. Just put him off a little bit, and then Ben tried to go for a move at turn 1 and turn 4 and just slightly overcooked it. As you can see, Matty's
not happy.
Not too happy.
Matty's not happy about
the second. Still good.
It's his own event, so
yeah.
If he won his own event, it would be a bit too cliche, wouldn't it? So
big gap now, 1.9 as they come up to the hill to start. Probably the penultimate lap, I should think.
We may squeeze one more lap. It's a 1 minute 30 lap. He's coming across the line about now. I think we've got 2 more laps to go potentially. If Mike drops off a bit, actually I'm not quite sure on the pace of these guys.
It's a bit too risky. Yeah, I'd try and just go as fast as possible.
Potentially last lap, potentially penultimate lap. We'll have to. It's been that close, and Mike's been driving so hard. He's really broken away now from WTF1, 1.7 seconds. But it was a legit move. You know, there was a tiny bit of contact there, but Ben just was going for the apex. Didn't really expect Mike to be there, but it was a legit move. They were side by side. There was no real serious contact. And just really hard, clean, fair touring car style racing from these GTE cars. But
yeah, the good thing is that nobody has ended up hard in the barrier, and it's probably cost them a podium. So good that the racing was clean, hard but fair. And as you can see, Mike has now got a 1.6 gap. I reckon he will go flat out, so he'll complete this lap, and I reckon there'll be another 2 more laps to go.
We'll have to see. We might see how well, because they've got 30 seconds on the clock. He's going to get to the line, and it's going to be extremely close to see if he wins the race this lap around or not. Being that it's a 1 minute 30 lap, and it was 1 minute 32 when he crossed the start finish line, we may potentially get a few more laps in. We'll see as he comes. Potentially, this could be his last corner. We don't actually know. We'll find out in about 14 seconds time then. So Mike Epps coming round the back stretch, and after overtaking Ben Daly a few laps ago. Okay, and they cross the line with 3 minutes to go, and the fuel light apparently is on for Mike Epps as well. That's extremely close there. There's a Porsche actually spinning in front of the leading car on the final lap with just 2 seconds as he crossed over the start finish line. That was that Glock? That was incredible. That was unbelievable how he managed to avoid that, as a back marker just almost ended the race. Absolutely the last lap now, and Prestige Racing looking to take their win here at the WTF1 Virtual Grand Prix. It's been a mad race. You can see the fuel low sign on Mike Epps' car, so hopefully he won't run out of fuel just yet. But you never know. WTF1 may still be in a chance here. He might have to do a tiny bit of fuel saving, but a bit of lifting and coasting potentially. But it's so close, and we don't get this in Formula One, do you? We're approaching the final few corners of this race. It's been 4 hours of. It's just flown by for me. Obviously, my jaw's quite hurting now after doing 4 hours commentary, but it's absolutely fantastic.
It's actually felt like an hour race, to be honest. My first stint was so much fun as well. It was basically an hour, but felt like 15-minute sprint race. It's been frenetic from the word go, but yeah. Absolutely. Like
you're probably going to go and join your team, because you can see Will Dendy and Mike Epps there. They're approaching the last corner then. So Ross Gunn goes off. Thank you very much for Ross joining us. Mike Epps then is going to come across the line. Prestige Worldwide Racing win the 4 hours, the WTF1 Virtual Grand Prix. Incredible job by Michael Epps and their team of Josh Valentine, Ross Gunn, Alex Sedgwick, James Edgar and Will Dendy then. Incredible job by Mike Epps, British touring car driver and sport racer as well. Incredible job by then, and thank you all so much for joining us on the chat as well. It was absolutely fantastic. Last few minutes of the race, we're going to have to hang around because we've got the podium presentations coming up, and it's going to be so impressive. WTF1 come home in second place. They're doing some donuts down at the first corner, so everybody's turning their traction control off and having some fun down at turn 3, and we've got a few cars having some bumper fun as well. So fantastic from WTF1 team and Matty Gallagher, Arav, Ben Daly, who unfortunately lost the lead in the last few laps, but amazing effort from him. Graham Carroll, Alex Gillen and Jack Werrell, so well done to all those guys. And also, actually, we had Veloz Esports as well drop down to 4th on off the podium while that battle was going on. So GPVWC actually pick up their 3rd position, so Veloz are not even on the podium. So so much last minute drama, we got carried away there. But fantastic for all of you guys for joining us as well. It was absolutely fantastic to see all your comments and still coming through on the feed on YouTube. All the guys are having some fun doing donuts out on track. My name's Callum Cripps. I was joined by Ross Gunn and a number of other helpful people to help us get through the commentary of this 4-hour race. But stick with us, we'll be coming back for some podium presentations, and you'll be able to see Matty Gallagher potentially presenting them as well. Thank you very much. I'm Callum Cripps, and this was the WTF1 Virtual Grand Prix.
It's there. Hello. Are we live? We're live. Okay. Right, guys. Third place. Round of applause for everybody, please. It's Team Veloce. Oh no! Sorry, Veloce. Let's try that again. That didn't happen on a live stream. Cool. That's the worst moment of my life. In third place, GPVWC. Oh no, that was dreadful. That was the worst moment of my life. Cool. Should always be given this. Okay, congratulations. Yeah, if you're a part of it.
Where's Ben?
Ben. Daly? You helped them get third?
You helped them get third.
Oh, go on then, Ben. Off you go.
Well, hold on.
Apparently not. I don't know. It's fine. Third and second. Okay, I'm going to get this one right. In second place, WTF1! Presenting from the podium. Oh, this is snug. Well done, guys. Woo! Should be first. Anyway, pop that down.
We're taking... Are you saying it?
Cool, just so I know. And taking first place in the first WTF1 Virtual GP is Team Prestige.
Congrats, Prestige, well applied.
I invited him. He doesn't even do sim racing, and he's going to never let this down. Oh my goodness me. Let me move out of the way. There we go.
WTF1, but well done to Ben there, committing everything. He threw everything at it.
Okay, right. Let's end this live stream then, guys. Thank you so much to all the podium winners, to every single person that's here, every person that's watched at home as well. Thank you so much for watching this first ever WTF1 Virtual GP, and to you as well. Good work. We'll maybe be back here another time, won't we? Yeah. We'll work it. Yeah. Some more notice, so some of you guys watching can come down as well. Have you all enjoyed it? Yeah. Wow. Didn't leave me on a hanging on that one. That was great. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Goodbye.